Hello everyone, I am Anshika Shrivastava and our team is Perisalis. The problem statement ID that we have decided upon is 1687 and the problem statement title is Real-Time Disaster Information Aggregation System. Now what is the overview of this problem? So as we see that disaster agencies face a lot of problem in manually sorting and filtering out the data that is related with the disasters that are occurring at any given time and any given location. So what if there is a solution and what if there is a system that can filter out through all this noise and can present only the relevant data to these disaster agencies so that the control and management can be taken quickly. So for this we have built our solution and now I will be walking you through an insightful journey through the various phases of our solution. Talking about the first phase, which goes as data collection and pre-processing. So as I mentioned that the data will be collected from various resources like various social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter as well as news articles and sources. So data coming from all these vast sources needs to be collected first and then filtering needs to be done. Now why filtering or cleaning of data is important? Because let's say there are content creators or social media influencers who are posting about these disasters that are occurring. So there can be a lot of irrelevant information like emoticons, hashtags and other noise that needs to be filtered out. So this will be our first step in data pre-processing where we'll be cleaning the data, and after cleaning the data we'll proceed to the step of tokenization where we can either divide the whole paragraph in various sentences or we can divide the sentences based on different words which are important to us like floods, earthquakes and all the other relevant words. So in tokenization we are simply splitting, and then after that we'll move on to the step of normalization where the data which is collected from different sources again needs to be presented in a uniform manner. For example, there are some uppercase postings, there are some lowercase postings, so all of this has to be brought on a common scale, which we'll be doing in normalization. Then after this, there are various content creators who are sitting in, let's say, geographical location A, and then there are content creators who are in another geographical location. So there is a language barrier that is occurring between these two people who are sharing about the same posts, the same information. So for this, we have to cater to the language differences, and so our solution will try to detect the languages through Google Translation API. Now, moving on to the second phase. The second phase talks about ML development. In this, we'll be using ML models and we'll be training the models, and using these models, we'll be categorizing. So if I talk about it in detail, then for disaster training classification, we can use models like BERT and DistilBERT, and after that, for fine tuning, we can use Roberta for sentiment analysis model. Then talking about the third phase, which is hybrid backend integration. Now we are employing two backends. Why so? Because first we are using Node.js, which will serve as the main backend or the primary server. On this we'll be having the API calls and all the other relevant normal backend stuff. Other than that, we are using Flask. And for Flask, why we are using Flask? In Flask we'll be incorporating our ML models. Now these two different frameworks can communicate through each other using gRPC, that is remote procedure calls. After this, we have for the database setup, we can either use AWS Elasticsearch or we can use Postgres and PostGIS. In Postgres and PostGIS, we can place the latitudinal and longitudinal information of the location, which are our primary targets, where the disaster or the calamity has actually occurred. And for Elasticsearch, we can store other information like the user or the disaster agency who has currently logged in our system. Now, moving on to the fourth phase. The fourth phase speaks about front-end visualization. Again, here we have tried to cater to a wider amount of audience. For example, for multilingual support, we have provided for various user needs, like a user who is more comfortable in English can use English as the primary language, and another user who is comfortable in, let's say, any other N language can use that for the support. After that, we have color scheme. There can be colorblind users who are using our system. So we are trying to build our system in a way so that it can cater to a wide amount of people. Then for older generations, we have used the font feature, and we will try to set the font feature as a larger amount of font, so that slightly larger font, so that they can easily navigate through our system. And for the younger generation who generally prefers to have font in a slightly lesser font size, we'll try to cater that as well. Along with that, we have dashboard with map integration, and for this we'll be using Leaflet. Then moving on to setting up real-time alerts. Now let's say a disaster has occurred at some location and we need to notify the disaster agency as to where the disaster has occurred. So for that we'll be generating real-time alerts, and to do this we'll be using Kafka in our backend. Along with Kafka we can use RabbitMQ as well. Now talking about the fifth phase, which is about testing and deployment. So once our system is ready, then we'll test it for all the potential bugs, and we'll try to remove all the bugs from the system using Selenium. And after that, we'll be deploying our system along with the ML models and everything integrated in it on AWS. Now we'll be proceeding with the unique features of our project. The first one is comprehensive data aggregation. So the data that we are collecting for our project is employed from various sources like social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, as well as the news sources. Then we have ML-driven insights, where we are employing advanced ML models for classification of disasters on the basis of their type as well as the severity assessments. Then geospatial analysis through enhanced location extraction. After this, we have real-time monitoring and alerts, so that the disaster agencies can be well notified ahead of time and they can take the required measures accordingly. Then we have user-friendly map visualization, so that the disaster agencies can monitor the disasters that are occurring in an intuitive way. Thank you. This is Team Perisalis signing off.